Hello, everyone. So let me just share this quick information with you guys. And I just want to talk about overcoming your fears. Yes, overcoming and mastering your fears. You see, everybody has one fear of one thing or the other. Everybody has one fear that he's managing. I tell you, even the most confident of people have certain things that they are still afraid of. But let me tell you something. The goal is not to prove that you're bold. The goal is to master your fears and always manage them. Put them in their right position. That person you look up to as someone who is very bold, trust me, if you check the inner dialogue that exists inside them, you will see some molecules of fear. But it is what I present to, it is what you see that you assess. You can't know if I'm afraid of something. You can't know. When you see people come up on the stage to make presentation, they talk as if nothing has happened. But only if you can just measure the heartbeat at that time, you might be worried that how well it has risen. Now, I'm not trying to make you scared. I'm letting you know that your fears too sometimes can be legit. You get what I'm saying? But I'm here to share with you some facts about fear. Yes. Now, I want to be specific this time around. I want to talk about a kind of fear I call the first impression fear. I call it the first impression fear. You will understand why I call it that name for a reason. I've noticed in my life as a person, and it's not just in my life, it has been a general thing, that when you are starting something new, or you're just about to start something for the first time, there's something that happens to you that discourages you and that even makes you scared. Yeah. It happens at the first time you do something, or maybe it might not really be the first time, but maybe the first period of time you're doing it, maybe the second day or the third day, but it's at the beginning phase of starting something new. That thing happens, and if you are not careful, that fear, that fear might discourage you from making progress. And my question is that why is it that fear does not come at other times, but it only comes at that particular period? And the reason is because, the devil knows that once he can get you afraid at the very first stance of doing something, he will be able to shut down the possibility of that thing. Are you getting me? That's why when you're about to start a business, you are going to experience something that probably you have never experienced before in your life. You will almost be like, wow, this is not for me. That is why some people start business at the first week and say, no, I don't think business is for me. Because they encountered an obstacle that looks so overwhelming. But they allowed that fear to dominate them, and they didn't understand the fact that it was just a test of confidence. For every new thing you're starting in this life, there is this fear called demon. There's a demon called fear rather that will come to test your confidence. And once you fall and you submit to that fear, it will keep taking charge of you until you master it. Now, let me share an experience with you. There's a time when I was on campus then. I was on OU campus then. There's this particular incomplete building that guys always go around to pray. Of course, that place is located in a very weird place. There are bushes around that place. And so there's actually possibility of seeing some reptiles there. I don't dispute that fact. But I always see people go there, pray, and they come back. A lot of people go there and pray and come back. But I felt like, one day I feel like, let me just go and pray in this particular building. And I went there. Can you believe that the first day I entered this building, the first day I went there and I saw this big snake. That snake was so big. I think it carried a frog, So it was so big. Well, I couldn't kill it. That's story for another day. I couldn't kill the snake. And so I said to myself that day that, wow, I'm coming to this place for the first time and I saw this big snake. What's the possibility that I won't be seeing snakes often enough if I keep coming? So I said to myself, I won't come here again. I went back. So I didn't go there for a while. Later, I started seeing people go to that same place. And later on, something within me spoke that, maybe that snake must I be afraid of what happened then? Is the snake looking for me? And I started going back to that place. And could you believe that I prayed in that place for a whole semester? In fact, for even almost a session. Since that day, that first day, I never saw a snake after that time. Then you ask yourself, why is it that I saw it on that particular first day? I tell you, there's an enemy called fear. There's a discouragement demon in the air that is trying to discourage you at the verge of any good thing you want to start. It's just constant. I'm not trying to sound spiritual now, but that's just the fact. There is a demon that keeps watching over everybody who wants to do something new. See it as a demon. Are you getting me? See it as there's a demon, there's a principality and power that is watching everybody, trying to see what move they're going to make and trying to find every way to bring it down. So that is why when you want to start something and it keeps falling, it's not necessarily because you have any, family demons or generational curse. It's just because that is the way the world has been designed. That obstacles are always on the path of greatness. Yeah. Before you can achieve any milestone, you need to overcome some obstacles. You need to overcome some demons. In fact, a wise man once said, it is wiser to pass it is wiser to tread a path that is filled with obstacles. If you are walking a place, it's better to walk in the path where there are vegetations, I think where there are bushes and trees, than to walk through a desert. Do you know why? Because that bush that is there shows that there is something in that land. That shows that there is fertility. You can't see bush in a just. Can you see bush in a crazy soil? You can't see bush on a rocky soil. You can only see it in a place where there is potential for growth. So I can tell you the reason why those obstacles are there for you is because you are actually treading a path that is really, really worth treading. These obstacles have only come to prove that you are only on the right path. So don't give in to discouragement. All your fears are there for a reason. They are there to test your tenacity. They are there to, in fact, they are a symbol of the fact that you are treading the right path. Anytime you want to start something and you actually have something that weighed you down on the first moment you did it, that is the path to tread, because that is where the real treasure is. Don't be afraid of anything. That is where the real treasure is. And that is where you have to invest in. So don't run away from it. You're always jumping from one vocation to the other because you did today, you are doing programming. Tomorrow you are now on video editing. Next tomorrow you are now on you just change it. Now you're now on real estate. Don't put yourself into real trouble. The fact is the fact that everything. Okay, let me give you an example. I want you to know that every part in life has a demon associated with it. Now, by demon, I don't necessarily mean you should be thinking of Satan. I'm just trying to use demon in place of obstacles. I can remember a point when I went to a bank then. I wanted to collect money. We were on the queue in a particular, for a particular, on a queue. We're trying to get money from a particular ATM. So there was this particular queue too at the right. Later, people now saw that the particular queue on the right is getting slimmer. So let me go to that one so that I will be able to collect my money quickly. As people left like this, they left without thinking of the future. Suddenly, the ATM stopped working. And so they now had to start coming back to where they used to be before. And now trying to convince people that I was here before. You know those kind of story. Nobody will listen to that, especially if you stay in Lagos. You're not telling me that I was the one on this POS before. I was the one on this queue before. Why am I mentioning POS? Don't mind me. You're in Nigeria. We tend to use POS more than ATM. So, that kind of explanation is not valid. You can't tell me that you were here before. And that's the same way. When you allow your fear to send you from one vocation to another, when you are moving from one thing to another, eventually, when you now come back, you would find it difficult because your place might have been taken. Yeah, your place might have been taken. That is why you must not allow your fear to dictate where you stand. Always maintain your stand regardless of the obstacles, regardless of whether the sun is scorching your head and you're not able to get money and everybody is getting money. I'm just using this ATM example so you can understand. We are all trying to catch out for something in life. We are trying to catch out from something, but there are obstacles on our ways. There are different demons, there are different barriers. But if we don't quit, eventually we will get what we are waiting for. That's what the Bible says. It said, do not be weary in what you're doing, for at the right time you're going to get that thing. So my encouragement today is that you should understand that fear is it's just designed to discourage you on that path of success. It's designed to discourage you, but you must not allow it. You must not allow those things to discourage you. Anything that looks like an obstacle. I read it in one book like that. Was it Rich Dad Poor Dad? Yeah. He said the difference between rich people and poor people is because Rich people know how to manage their obstacles very well. Yeah. They can manage it and say, okay, oh, they know that this obstacle is only proving that I'm on the right path. But poor people see obstacles as a means to run away to another thing. If you keep doing it that way, it would affect you. You can't keep jumping from pillar to post. Understand that fear is part of the algorithm. Mastering your fears is part of, because if you don't master that fear, if you try to skip it, sometimes when you're trying to do some registration, that thing tells you upload your profile photo, you keep skipping a lot of things. You can do that with social media. But when it comes to life hacks, when you skip certain things, it will come back for you eventually. That fear that you don't master, it will still come the next day. It will come the next day. Let me give you one example before I wrap it up. There was a time like that. We had this outreach in our church. We need to go out there and preach to people. Then I was very timid, like anything. I was very timid, especially talking to ladies. About God, Jesus Christ. So this particular day, I decided to step out in faith. As I got to the streets, I met this girl. Maybe the girl thought I wanted to toast her. The way she embarrassed me, I was like, just because I wanted to preach the gospel to you. So I felt discouraged at that point. And I feel like, so I was like, I didn't want to leave my child before. I was just on my own. I was on my own lane before they told me to go for outreach. And now I'm now disgraced. But later I summoned up the courage that, well, she's not the only person alive. We have tons of people that need to be saved. I can't deprive millions of people of their salvation just because someone messed up. And I went back to it, and I started enjoying the process. So you have no idea of the things the devil is depriving you of just because of that single fear. You are losing more than you can afford. You are losing much more than you can afford. If you can just step out, take that step of faith, you'll be shocked at the things you are going to produce. I hope this blesses you. Thank you so much.